Today I'm going to be rebuilding the new look Golden State Warriors after acquiring Jimmy Butler. They traded away Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Anderson, Lindy Waters, and I believe a first round pick for Jimmy Butler to be the new starting small forward. In my opinion, this Jimmy Butler trade is a win-win for both teams. The Miami Heat acquired themselves Andrew Wiggins and the Warriors got Jimmy Butler. The Warriors needed a change and they most definitely got one with Jimmy Butler. So far, the Golden State Warriors are the 11th seed with 25 wins and 26 losses. Which obviously means we're not a playoff team at the moment, but after acquiring Jimmy Butler, I think we should hopefully be able to make the playoffs. Another thing going around is Ben Simmons is currently a free agent. Brooklyn Nets and him and Ben Simmons worked out his contract and did a buyout contract, which means now he's a free agent. And I'm not sure how a buyout contract works exactly, but I'm pretty sure we should be able to bring him on our team, which we can. We're going to go ahead and sign Ben Simmons and move his position over to the center position, where I'm pretty sure his overall will go up. And let's see if it does. Hopefully it does. I'm pretty sure he goes up to like a 80 overall. And yeah, he goes up to basically an 80 overall. So we're going to make Ben Simmons our new starting center and see how that plays out. He's a good playmaker, good defender. Obviously the last few seasons he has been struggling, but let's see what he can do here in the Bay. Also, make sure to drop a thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this video so far and hit that subscribe button for more NBA 2K rebuilds. Now let me show you guys our rotation. So our starting five is going to be Stephen Curry, Buddy Hield, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Ben Simmons. And then off the bench, we're going to have Jonathan Kuminga, Trayce Jackson-Davis, Brandon Pajemski, Gary Payton II, and Elfrid Payton. Payton is not on the Golden State Warriors, but in 2K he is. I'm not sure how the buyout market works exactly, but if the Golden State Warriors could get Ben Simmons, I think that they most definitely should. I'm pretty sure Ben Simmons would be able to fit the Golden State Warriors playstyle perfectly. He's a really good playmaker, he's a good defender, and he can score a little bit. Obviously these last few seasons he hasn't been scoring in double digit how he used to in Philadelphia. But I think he would be a really good starting center for the Golden State Warriors, and as we all know, the Warriors fans have been wanting a new center for quite a while. So that's what we did by acquiring Ben Simmons. We are past the trade deadline, so there's not any trades we'll be able to do this season, but this off season will most definitely be upgrading our roster. Since Jimmy Butler is 35 years old and Steph Curry's 36 years old, we have a pretty small window to win them a championship. So we're going to do everything we can to upgrade our roster. Let me show you guys how game 1 goes against the Chicago Bulls. Game number 1 against the Chicago Bulls with our new roster is a win. Jimmy Butler puts up 29 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 1 steal in his Golden State Warriors debut. Curry had 24, Jackson-Davis had 10 points and 10 rebounds. Ben Simmons in his debut had 8 points, 1 rebound, and 4 assists. Something crazy about Jimmy Butler is so far this season he wasn't even really trying because of his beef with the Miami Heat. So now that he's with the Golden State Warriors, he got his contract extension. I think he's going to go back to averaging around 20-22 points per game like he's been doing these past few seasons. Now I'm going to be simulating until the end of this season where hopefully we can end up making the playoffs. Jonathan Kuminga is open to signing a contract extension with our team, so we're going to go ahead and give him a 4-year contract. We could possibly use his contract in order to trade him this offseason for a better player depending on how he continues to play. So we're going to give him a 4-year $80 million contract, which he does accept. And then Gary Payton also wants a contract extension. We'll give him the minimum. And the same with Kevon Looney. And I'm pretty sure that will be it. Q Santos wants a contract extension, but he's already on a 2-year deal. So we're going to go ahead and leave that out of it. And now I'll be simulating until the end of this season. Here we are at the end of season number 1, where Nikola Jokic wins MVP, Alexander Sarr wins Rookie of the Year, Jonas Valanciunas with the Sacramento Kings wins 6th Player of the Year, Victor Wembanyama wins Defensive Player, Amin Thompson Most Improved, Trae Young Clutch Player, Mark wins Coach of the Year, and the Cleveland Cavaliers win Executive of the Year. Let's see if we get any All-NBA selections, and we don't get Steph Curry or Jimmy Butler, and no one on All-Defensive Team either. And we were the play-in team, so right now we're the 7th seed. At the start of this video, I believe we were the 11th seed before acquiring Jimmy Butler. Now we have a chance to make the playoffs. We gotta defeat the Los Angeles Clippers to make that happen. Let me fix up our player minutes and then we'll jump right in the play-in tournament. Alright, I fixed up our player minutes. Let's see if we can defeat the Los Angeles Clippers to advance to the playoffs. We do have home court advantage in this game, and so far we're starting off strong. The first half we do have the lead. It looks like we are going to be winning this game by a lot. Steph Curry had 36 points, playoff Jimmy had 34 points, 14 from Ben Simmons, 12 from Trace Jackson Davis. And now we're in the playoffs. We're in round number 1. We're going to be taking on the Memphis Grizzlies, who have Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Vince Williams Jr., Jaren Jackson Jr., Brandon Clark, and then off the bench they have Zach Edey, Santi Aldama, Scottie Pippen, and Jalen Wells, as well as Luke Kennard. So this team is pretty stacked, to be honest. They're not a bad team whatsoever. Let me show you guys our player stats before we get into simulating. So for the regular season, our team leader in scoring was Stephen Curry, putting up 24 points per game on amazing efficiency. Right behind him was Jimmy Butler, putting up 19 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steal, and half a block per game on really good efficiency. He kind of struggled from the 3-point line, but that is alright. Jonathan Kuminga was averaging 16 points per game. He had an amazing season, but he was also struggling from the 3-point line. Buddy Hield with 12 points per game, 9 from Podziemski, and then the rest of this team. Now let's get into the playoffs and see what happens. Game number 1 is a win for us. Let's go. Curry with 40 points, Butler with 19. Game number 2 is also a win for us. That's what I'm talking about. Curry had 26 points. Playoff Jimmy had 20 points in that game. Game number 3, we do end up losing. Butler had 23 points, Curry with 16. Curry struggled big time in that game, but hopefully he can turn it up a notch. Game number 4 is also a loss, so this is where we're going to be coming up with a coach game plan. Butler did have 32 points, but we still fell short. We need to put Jimmy Butler on Ja Morant, in my opinion, because Curry is not fast enough for Ja Morant. Defensive coach game plan has been set. Let's see if we can win game number 5 and go up 3-2 against the Memphis Grizzlies. So far we do have the lead, but they take it right back. But hopefully we can still come back. It's still a really close game. They're up by 6, 8 minutes remaining. And they're up by 6, they're up by 7. And it looks like they're going to be winning this game by 6 points. Butler had 26, 24 from Curry, 15 from Jonathan Kuminga. I'm going to adjust our shot tendencies a little bit. I'm going to make Jimmy Butler shoot a lot more because he's playing absolutely amazing. We are going to be putting Moses Moody into our rotation. Gary Payton II is struggling offensively, and so is Brendan Podziemski, so we need someone else that can provide offense off of the bench, and Moses Moody should be able to do just that. Let's see what happens here in game number 6. Hopefully we can tie up the series and take it to a game 7. So far the first half was amazing for us, but hopefully we can keep this up, and it looks like we are going to be tying up the series. We almost scored 150 points. We need to continue playing just like this. Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy with 44 points. I hired his shot tendency and clearly that worked out. He put up 44 points. And also 40 from Curry. So our duo of Jimmy Butler and Curry both combined for 88 for 84 points. Buddy Hield had 18, Kuminga with 14, Simmons with 13. Moses Moody had 3. Podziemski still struggling offensively. But hopefully our players could play good here in game number 7. In game 7, the Memphis Grizzlies do have home court advantage, but let's see what happens here. So far, it's a really close game back and forth. But they are starting to run away with it. They're up by 5 points, 5 minutes remaining. And yeah, it looks like the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be eliminating us in the first round. Playoff Jimmy played absolutely amazing, putting up 30 points, and so did Curry. But clearly, the rest of the cast on our team is not really that good, so most definitely we're going to need to pull off some upgrades this offseason, pull off some trades to get Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler some more help. Let's see who's going to win the NBA Finals in this playoff run, and it's the New York Knicks versus the Dallas Mavericks. So Anthony Davis is in the NBA Finals the first season of being traded, and he ends up losing. It goes to Game 7, but the New York Knicks end up winning a championship with Jalen Brunson averaging 33 points. So Jalen Brunson got the perfect revenge against his old team, the Dallas Mavericks. For player retirement, I am going to be overturning a few of these retirements. I'm most definitely going to overturn LeBron James' retirement because I don't think he'll be retiring this offseason, especially after acquiring Luka Doncic. I'm going to overturn a few more of these retirements, and then I'll see you guys either at the NBA draft or free agency. As I said, we were going to be pulling off some insane trades this offseason in order to make us championship contenders. And this is the first trade we're going to be pulling off with the Boston Celtics, where we get ourselves Derek White, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, for Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield, and our own first round pick. Buddy Hield is a good player, but I don't think we're going to be able to win a championship with him at our shooting guard position, and Derek White would be that perfect shooting guard to have besides Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. He's an amazing defender, amazing three-point shooter. And Jonathan Kuminga doesn't really progress much in 2K, so there's no point in keeping him on our team. He's not going to be able to develop a three-point shot in 2K25, so might as well go ahead and trade him to the Boston Celtics and get ourselves Derek White. Now we got ourselves a new starting shooting guard. Now there's one more position we need to upgrade, and that's our center position. We're going to be picking up the team option on Brennan Pajemski, and then we can let Q Santos walk since we don't really need him on our team. But Brennan Pajemski, we're most definitely bringing back. Quinton Post doesn't really progress much, I think, so there's no point in giving him a qualifying offer. In real life, he has a lot of potential, but in 2K, I don't think he's going to be progressing all that much. As I said, we're going to be upgrading our center position, and Mitchell Robinson would be that perfect starting center to have on our team. We're going to be sending away the center we got from the Boston Celtics, a first round pick, Moses Moody, and a second round pick where we acquire ourselves Mitchell Robinson and this really valuable pick from the New York Knicks. We have to throw Moses Moody in this trade in order to make this trade work. For salary reasons, I didn't want to trade Moses Moody, but I'm fine with trading him if that means we're getting ourselves a good center, and Mitchell Robinson is perfect, so we're going to pull that trade off, and now we got ourselves a perfect starting five. I'm going to be offering Precious Achiuwa a 1-year contract and see if he accepts this trade. He could be our backup power forward, and he does decline the trade, even though he may be accepting the Atlanta Hawks trade for the same amount of money. So hopefully he doesn't accept their trade and we're able to bring him on our team, because I would love to have Precious Achiuwa as a backup power forward. And he's still continuing to decline this trade offer that we're giving him. And yeah, we may not be getting Precious Achiuwa, which sucks because he would be a perfect backup power forward off of our bench. Never mind, it looks like we are going to be able to get Precious Achiuwa. Now he does accept the offer, which means he'll be our backup power forward for the future. I'm not sure if there's any more signings we will be doing in this free agency. We may acquire ourselves a backup small forward because I don't want Gary Payton to continue being our backup small forward. I'm pretty sure he's going to be regressing this offseason, so I'm going to look around and see who else we could bring in on our team. Here we are at the start of this season with our new rotation. Our starting five is going to include Stephen Curry, Derek White, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Mitchell Robinson. And then off the bench, we're going to have Brennan Pajemski, Trayce Jackson-Davis, Precious Achiuwa, and Gary Payton II. In my opinion, we're most definitely championship contenders. The moves of getting Derek White and Mitchell Robinson alone, in my opinion, have made us a lot better. And now we also got Precious Achiuwa coming off our bench, which should help us with defense and rebounding. So let's see how this season plays out. I'll simulate game number 1 against the Timberwolves and see if we can get a win, and we end up blowing them out by 23 points. That's a really good sign in my opinion. Steph Curry had 33 points, Jimmy Butler had 26, 11, and 9, as well as 2 steals. He almost had a triple-double in this season's debut. Derek White had 20 points in his Golden State's debut. Precious Achiuwa had 6, 4, and 1 block. Now I'll be simulating either until the end of this season, but if there's trades to be made, I'll be stopping at trade deadline to show y'all. We're going to go ahead and sign Mitchell Robinson on our 2-year $30 million contract since he's down to sign a contract extension, and he's been playing amazing at the center position for our team. And he does accept, so he'll be our center for the future. I'm stopped here with 1 game remaining in this season, and the reason I stopped here is to show you guys something that we're all going to be surprised by. Steph Curry is number 1 in the race to winning MVP. This is the most points per game I've ever seen Stephen Curry average in 2K simulation. I've never seen him averaging above 30 points, not even 30 points ever. I've never seen this. So this is the first time I'm seeing this, and we may be able to win him another MVP at age 38, which would be insane. So let's see together if Curry's able to win an MVP. That would be insane. And there you go. Stephen Curry is the most valuable player of this year, the 2026 MVP, averaging 31 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 1 steal, shooting 50, 46, 90. I've never seen Steph Curry win MVP in 2K simulation in my life, so this is the first time for us all. I'm pretty sure if you guys play this game, you guys haven't seen this either, so this is pretty cool. So Steph Curry has won himself 3 MVPs. His first one being in the year 2015, then 2016, and then 10 years later in 2026 at year 38, he goes on to win another MVP. That's pretty insane. That's really cool that we were able to win Curry MVP in this video. Cooper Flag wins Rookie of the Year. Dylan Harper wins 6th Player of the Year. Wemby wins Defensive Player of the Year. Jarris Walker Most Improved. Luka wins Clutch Player of the Year. Steve Kerr, our head coach, wins Coach of the Year. As you guys can see in the bottom left corner, we won 73 games, losing only 9. I believe we just tied our franchise record for the most wins in a single season. And there you go, Stephen Curry is on All-NBA First Team after winning his 3rd MVP at age 38. I still can't believe that. I've never seen Curry averaging around 30 points per game in 2K simulation. For some reason, he's always averaging around 24, 25. This is the first time ever I've seen him averaging these type of numbers, which is really cool that we were able to do that in this rebuild. And we don't get Jimmy Butler here, even though we should have, because Jimmy Butler also had a All-NBA type of season. I'll show you guys here in a second. And we don't get Mitchell Robinson on All-Defensive Team, which is kind of a surprise because he was getting a lot of blocks per game. And obviously we were the number 1 seed, and in round number 1 we're going to be taking on the Houston Rockets. Let me show you guys our player stats before we jump into the playoffs. So obviously Stephen Curry was our leading scorer, averaging 31 points per game. I'm still shocked that Steph Curry was averaging 31 points per game. Obviously in real life I know he could do that, but in 2K simulation I've never seen Curry averaging around 30 points. I've never even seen him average 29, 28 points per game. Every time I rebuild the Warriors, he's averaging around 24, 23, 22 points per game. And then there's Jimmy Butler averaging 24 points per game. So as I said, Butler also had an All-NBA type of season, averaging 24 points per game, shooting 37% from the 3-point line, as well as 6 rebounds, 6 assists, almost 2 steals, and half a block. Derek White was an amazing get for our team, 17 points per game, 4 assists, 1 block, and almost 2 steals on really good efficiency. From the field he kind of struggled, but his 3-point percentage was amazing. Brennan Pajemski was averaging 11 off the bench, 9 from Mitchell Robinson, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks from Mitchell Robinson, 8 and 6 from Trayce Jackson, 7 from Draymond Green, Precious Achiuwa off the bench with 6.5, Gary Payton with 4 points. Now let me fix up our player minutes and then hopefully we can defeat the Houston Rockets and give Tari Eason a taste of his medicine. He talks a lot of smack about the Golden State Warriors, so we're gonna go out there and show him what's up. The starting lineup of the Houston Rockets is Reed Sheppard, Jalen Green, Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Sengun, and then off the bench they have Tari Eason, Dillon Brooks, Ace Bailey. They got themselves Ace Bailey. Somehow they ended up with a number 2 overall pick, even though they had an amazing season last year. They also have Cam Whitmore, DeAnthony Melton, and Sam Hauser. Ace Bailey's averaging 10 points per game, and they also have Dillon Brooks, who we also gotta give a taste of his own medicine to him. Both of these players are really cocky towards the Golden State Warriors, so let's go out there and defeat this team. Game number 1 is a loss for us. Steph Curry struggled big time, Jimmy Butler struggled big time. Hopefully they can show out here in game number 2, which they do. Steph Curry had 25 points, playoff Jimmy with 20, Trayce Jackson Davis with 20 points, and he also hit a 3-pointer. Okay, Trayce Jackson Davis with the jump shot, 17 and 7. Derek White, who's playing good so far. Game number 3 is also a win for us. Steph Curry had 33 points, playoff Jimmy with 25, 8 and 7. Mitchell Robinson with 12 points. Game number 4 puts us up 3-1, and we gentlemen sweep the Houston Rockets with playoff Jimmy putting up 31 points, 29 from Curry and 19 from White. Now we're in round number 2, where we're going to be taking on the Dallas Mavericks, who luckily no longer have Luka Doncic, obviously after that trade, but it looks like they acquired themselves a lot of more good players. Somehow this team ended up with Chris Paul and Jaden Ivey. I'm not sure how they got Jaden Ivey, but they did. And Jaden Ivey took a pay cut to be with this team in his 5th season by the looks of things. Or this is his 4th season, so I'm not sure how he ended up on the Mavericks. They may have traded for him. They also have Chris Paul. So clearly this is a really good team. Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, AD, Derek Lively, Jaden Ivey off the bench, PJ Washington, Najee Marshall, and Max Christie. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 is a win for us. Butler putting up 28 points, 27 and 10 from Curry, and 24 from Derek White. Game number 2 is also a win, which puts us up 2-0, and we also win game 3. And it's not a sweep, but can it be a gentleman's sweep? And it is a gentleman's sweep, so we beat the Dallas Mavericks in 5. Derek White had 27 points that game, Curry had 26, Butler struggled offensively, but he was still good. And then we're in the conference finals just like that. We're going to be taking on the Denver Nuggets, who have Tyus Jones, Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Aaron Gordon, and Jokic. Then off the bench, they have MPJ, Julian Strawther, De'Ron Holmes, and Dario Saric. So they were the 6th seed, but this team is honestly really good despite being the 6th seed. So they're still a pretty good team, but let's see how things go here. Game number 1 is a win for us. Curry had 38 and playoff Jimmy had 36 points. He's averaging 26 points per game in the playoffs. Curry is averaging basically 30 points per game in the playoffs. Let's go. Derek White is averaging 20 points. Game number 2 is also a win for us, which puts us up 2-0 with Curry putting up 46 points in that game. Derek White had 21 and Butler with 20. Game number 3, we're up 3-0, and we end up sweeping the Denver Nuggets to advance to the NBA Finals. Curry had 33 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists, as well as 4 blocks. That's probably a career high for Curry in blocks. Jimmy Butler had 32, 8, and 10, 1 steal, 1 block. Derek White also had 30 points. So our big 3 all had 30 points or more. That's what I'm talking about. How many 3-pointers did our team make in this game? So we made 21 3-pointers. And now we're in the NBA Finals. We're either going to be taking on the Detroit Pistons, who have Cooper Flagg now, or the Cleveland Cavaliers. And it's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the Cavaliers came back from a 3-1 lead that the Pistons had on them. Curry wins Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 35 points per game. Cade Cunningham somehow wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP, even though their team lost. And now, we're taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and DeAndre Hunter. Oh god. This team adding DeAndre Hunter just made them 10 times better than they already were. He's a 3-and-D wing who's going to help this team a lot. He's a good defender and an amazing offensive player. They also have Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. So they basically have 4 players in 90 overall. That is pretty insane. Off the bench, they have Clint Capella, Isaac Okoro, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Kelly Olynyk. So it's not like this team does not have depth. They have a lot of depth, and their starting 5 is insane. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 is a win for us. Curry puts up 33 points, 18 from Butler, and 17 from Derek White. Game number 2 is also a win for us, with Curry putting up 35 points, 28 from playoff Jimmy, as well as 7 steals from Jimmy Butler. That's insane. Draymond Green had 10 from Mitchell Robinson. Game number 3, we do end up losing. Jarrett Allen had 27 points. Butler had 24-21 from Curry, who struggled big time in this game. But hopefully they can turn it up a notch here in Game 4. Game 4 is a win for us, which puts us up 3-1 against the number 1 seed, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Curry had 43 points. Jimmy Butler with 33, 4, and 7, as well as 3 steals. Amazing defense. 16, 3, and 4, as well as 2 steals from Derek White. Pajemski's playing really good for us off the bench, shooting 50, 40, 70. Trace Jackson Davis is playing good off the bench. Draymond Green is struggling offensively, but his defense is amazing. How's Precious playing? Precious Achiuwa is also playing really good off the bench. Mitchell Robinson is playing good defense and decent offense. Gary Payton, amazing all around. And let's see if we can gentlemen sweep the Cleveland Cavaliers to win us a championship. Let's see what happens here. And we do end up beating the Cleveland Cavaliers to go on to win ourselves a championship. Just like that, the Golden State Warriors are the 2026 NBA champions. So Steph Curry goes on to win the regular season's MVP, and now he also wins Finals MVP, all in the same year. So Stephen Curry wins Finals MVP, averaging 33 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals, shooting 50, 39, 90. Let me show you guys the player stats for this playoff run that we just had. So throughout the whole playoffs, Steph Curry was our leading scorer, averaging 31 points per game, 7 assists. Right behind him was Jimmy Butler with 26.5 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and half a block. And then we had Derek White averaging 19 points per game, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. We only had 3 players on our team averaging double-digit scoring, and we still ended up winning a championship. That's crazy. Clearly, we had a really good defense on our team. Brennan Pajemski averaged 10, 9 from Trace, 8 from Precious, 8 from Draymond, 7 from Mitchell Robinson. And now let me show you guys the NBA final stats. So Curry averaged 33 points per game, 26.5 from Jimmy Butler, who I totally forgot goes on to win himself his first NBA championship. Curry winning his 5th championship, and Derek White winning his 2nd championship. So Derek White was averaging 12 points per game, 10 from Brennan Pajemski, 10 from Draymond Green, 7.5 from Trace, 7.5 from Mitchell Robinson, and then the rest of the team. So this was a really fun video in my opinion. We ended up winning ourselves a championship, which was obviously the goal, but we won Jimmy Butler his 1st championship, and we won Stephen Curry his 5th. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new. We're on the road to 200 subscribers, so please make sure to hit that subscribe button. And comment down below what rebuild you guys would like me to do next. I'm going to be uploading a lot of videos in the next few weeks since there was a lot of trades this trade deadline. In my opinion, this trade deadline has to be one of the biggest trade deadlines ever. Jimmy Butler was traded, obviously Luka Doncic was traded, Mark Williams to the Lakers, Brandon Ingram, A lot of all-stars traded, Kyle Kuzma was traded, and a lot of other players. So yeah, make sure you guys like this video, comment down below what video you guys would like to see next, hit that subscribe button, and until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.